Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
And welcome back to hour 7 of Podcast-palooza Day. Yes, we have just crossed the halfway mark, so we are into the second half of the marathon. So far, so good. I'm still alive, and it's been a challenge to not open up with good evening every time, because that's sort of my autopilot for all these shows. Another couple of hours, I can go back to that. Won't have to stop myself anymore. We are moving forward with more comic book news and information. We're deviating a little bit from crowdfunding now, technically, because this is a crowdfunded comic that has crowdfunded. It has gone through its funding, it has gone through its in-demand, and now it is sort of more in a direct purchase market for those who missed all the crowdfunding, who will get their books after the crowdfunders did. And to talk more about that book, which is Florida Man, we have with us on the stream Mr. Mike Barron and Mr. Chris Barali. Mike, how you doing out there today?
Good.
And Chris, what's your life like today?
I am better than I deserve, brother.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
So we've already got people showing up in the chat. Hex Allen is out there. Kick his ass, people. Kick whose ass? I'm not kicking anybody's ass.
Bring it on.
Mike would kick my ass before.
I'm just a feeble old man, RJ.
He's a martial artist expert. Don't let him fool you.
I had a feeble old music teacher in high school who taught karate, and we all knew better than to mess with him. So Florida Man's in the rearview mirror. How you guys feel?
Okay, wait. We're just getting off the exit ramp. We're not in the rearview mirror yet, are we, Mike?
We're just between stations.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, some really experienced and smart indie creators that kind of came up with the what's happening now that covers everything from Comicsgate and beyond, all this big indie comic showcase thing that's been promoting or creating their own books. One of them turned us on to a printer that's just a couple of hours away from me, API Printing. They've got a place up in Tennessee. They've got a place in Atlanta, Georgia. And so I started talking with them about 2 weeks ago. We were about to pull the trigger on Mix'em, who've, have got great product, good prices. Yeah. And, but API, man, these guys are so hands-on. I mean, you're talking to people, you're not doing it all online. And Joseph and Robert, really, man, just put it all together, came up with some nice options. I got down there, went to the printer, and there's stuff from Von Klaus, stuff from Doug TenNapel, stuff from Timothy Lim, Mark Pellegrini, Doug Ernst, and on and on and on. Even the Babylon Bee, looks like one of these old coffee table Bible things with all the gilded pages and the metal embroidery and stuff. It's crazy. And they do all that, and they're nice guys, and they kind of they align with sort of where my mindset is as far as Bleeding Fool goes. When I called them up and told them who I was with, they knew about me before I knew about them. I literally had never heard about API, and I'm glad that we learned. So we're in the queue for printing, and once that batch is in my hot little hands, I'm going to head out to Mike, let him autograph a bunch of them. Mike's actually got a convention he's going to in third week of April, right, Mike? Which one is that one?
South Carolina Comic-Con.
Yep. So if you're in South Carolina, get to that Comic-Con. Hopefully, Mike will have some Florida Man books. If he does not, I know he's going to have Badger. Am I right, Mike? What are you taking?
Wait, those novels are too heavy to tote around. I might bring this. This just came out. It was printed at the same shop. Offlander,
that's exactly right. I had all the variants in my hands.
And this is an outstanding product. I mean, I don't know what the cover is made out of, but it's not standard paper. It feels metallic. It feels indestructible.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Oh, I think RJ's probably got his copy. He's about to bring it out. I noticed George is in the chat. Yes, George, API, very cool, guys. Very cool.
So's Hex. Hey, Hex.
Hexy.
Sorry to abandon you guys there for a second, but we started talking, and I remembered that this last Wednesday was my DCBD day. It's the new hashtag. It used to be New Comic Book Day, but now it's Dollar Comic Book Day.
Nice.
So I go and I hit the dollar bin at the new local LCS. Yeah, remember books like this?
Yep.
Mike, do you remember that?
You bet.
And I'd always seen advertisements for Neil Adams' company, but I'd never seen any of the books from it. So I picked up Toy Boy and I picked up Armor this week. Some of the classic Image stuff. I didn't even remember War Child. And I was like, well, I don't even know who did this, and I'm taking
Who's
it out.
the artist? Yeah.
You'll know the names. In fact, when I started to pull the thing out of the back, I didn't even see the back cover, and the guest was like, "It's Fraga."
That's Dan Fraga, yeah, Couch Doodles.
But the artist inside here was Jonathan Sabal and Danny Mickey, and this is a Rob Liefeld creation. So,
how about that?
So all our dear friends were there. Got the Solution from Malibu. This is Mike S. Miller did the inks on this one.
Nice.
Watching everybody come up. Of course, gold foil was the thing back in the day.
Yeah.
$1. There were like multiple copies of this one, and I just I'll take one of them.
It's got to be great.
It's going to be great. Henry Vogel, we've had on the show. He did the Southern Knights, and I saw character Kristen here in League of Champions. Never heard of it. Said, "Hey Henry, look what I found." He's like, "I might have some news for you soon." So we're looking forward to having Henry on sometime talking. Hint, hint. Nothing official, but hint, hint. And
beautiful. $1? Wow.
$1. It's the only Badger I saw with Mike's name on it. There was another
Mike,
one.
I didn't know that Ron Lim drew Badger. Any Badger? Ron's incredible. It's my favorite Silver Surfer era.
So yeah, I was like, yep, I'm picking. It used to be I went and picked up books from my heroes.
Yeah.
And now that I've been doing this for 2 years, I'm going out and picking up some books from my friends. People I know.
Never meet your heroes.
Oh, yeah. I've never really had that experience. I've not run into Mike at a convention before, but we've talked enough times on screen here that I feel comfortable talking to you guys. I've been fortunate though that the time that I did meet my heroes, they were heroes. I've told the Peter David story plenty of times. I was loving his run on Hulk, and Peter and I have he doesn't know it, but we've argued in the past online. But I was at a convention where, I had a chance to buy that issue of Hulk, not that issue, but the one that the cover's from. Yeah. Yesterday at this antique shop I went into, $20, and he signed the cover up, and I'm like, I'm gonna pass on it for right now. I'll go back. I spent my money at the antique shop on other things.
Look at you.
That attracted my attention more.
Cheesecake lover, I see.
Yes. Yeah. I saw Varga, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm taking that.
Yeah.
But I was at the Chicago Comic Con, and I want to say it was either 89 or 91. But it was back before it became all the Wizard World stuff. Yeah. And I was in line with for Peter David, and he had he was hot on the Hulk at that time. And there was a guy, maybe 5-10 people in front of me, obviously developmentally challenged. Mm-hmm. He was like in his 20s, and his dad was with him, helping him, go up there. So had a stack of Hulks at least 2 foot high.
Wow. It's going to take all day.
Yeah. And we're all in the lines going, oh, this isn't going to end well. So, oh no, they were either mad at him or they were like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's not going to happen. And the kid got up there and Peter took the first 5 books off the stack, signed them, pushed the stack to the side, took the next guy.
Yeah.
Then took the next 5 books off the stack, signed them, pushed them to the side, took the next guy, and repeated that process until he signed every one of those guys' books. I was like, that's the spirit that creators used to have for their fans. That you find it now in the crowdfunding and in the Comicsgate world. where you're very fan centric. Now it's like, the creators are like, well, I work, my end user is the publisher. And, once I've sold it to them, I don't, it's out of my hands anymore. I don't care. And then the publishers are like, well, as long as we can sell it to a comic store, we're done with it after that.
Yeah. Well, and I know my politics and Peter David's don't align at all, but if you're cool to the fans and not an a-hole to, the fan/critics online, I mean, you can always mute people, right?
Absolutely.
You don't get to engage. So, and I think Mike does a really good job of that because, I mean, he doesn't agree with everybody. He's sometimes rather disagreeable, but you don't see him being
whenever I'm at Dragon Con, I have dinner with Peter. He's kind enough to invite me to his dinner that he has every Saturday night.
Yeah.
People used to be able to get along about their commonalities rather than disassociate because of their differences.
Yeah.
The differences didn't matter because they weren't part of the conversation. It was, hey, we're here for comics today, and we're just talking about that. But yeah, now, you make one snarky comment and Gail Simone blocks you for life, right?
And nothing of value was lost.
Nothing of value was lost.
Hey, RJ, we're kind of wanting to figure out what the fans would like us to do about Hogzilla 2. I mean, how soon do we start? Mike, what do you want to say about Hogzilla? Florida Man 2 is Hogzilla, okay?
Yes, it is.
If you've seen the Pat Broderick pinup, it's in the book. It'll be in Florida Man 1. It's the cover of Mike's prose novel, Florida Man, Hogzilla. It's available right now on Amazon. Mike just turned in the third Florida Man novel.
That'll be on sale next month. It's called Catfish Calling.
Catfish Calling. And the cover of that is, so we've got him riding on a gator. We've got Gary riding on a feral, massive hog. And in the third one, he's riding on a ludicrously massive catfish.
Well, it's a giant Mekong catfish. They are actually 700 pounds.
It's still ludicrous, even though it's reality.
Sure.
It's
Chris,
ludicrous.
I'm just, growing up near St. Louis and along the Kaskaskia River and the Mississippi River, I'll tell you, there will be pickup trucks of guys who've gone fishing in the river selling their catfish. Those catfish are as long as the bed of the pickup truck.
Listen, I know we have one of those really cheap amusement parks, with roller coaster, cannonball roller coaster, and the ski lifts and all that stuff. And they've got a dirty pond where you can go paddle boarding or whatever it is. And people feed popcorn to these catfish, and they're as long as I am. They're massive. They're monsters. But this is even bigger. So Mike's got stories galore, Florida Man. But he's also got, Mike's got so many irons in the fire. He just released Biker 8. Is that right, Mike? Yep. Biker 8. So he's got those novels. We've got Mike's got, I'm going to help him with it, another project that's not a funny book. It's actually kind of serious.
It's a graphic novel.
Yeah, graphic novel. And the artwork is beautiful. If you were ever a fan of Ernie Chan, John Buscema era Conan, it's not that sort of storytelling, but it's that well rendered artwork, and it just looks beautiful. We're already more than a third of the way through it with the artwork. We haven't even launched the book yet. I'm never launching another crowdfund with as little done artwork wise as we did with Florida Man. So I apologize. Right now I'm apologizing to all the backers for starting the campaign before we were halfway finished.
I gotta say, we're still finishing and producing the book faster than most crowdfunders. Even though we didn't hit our
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I've got money in crowdfunding that I've given over 3 years ago. I'm waiting for the book to come out now. And,
well, so far we've done really well to retain our backers, and we do a nice update. We're going to do another update this week once we've got sort of an estimate from the printer as far as the timeline goes. The only problem right now, the only challenge, it's not a problem, the only challenge right now is it's school book annual season. Okay, so the printer is cranking out, school book annuals too. Maybe we should do that format, Mike. Just do a hardcover of all of them.
That's not a bad idea.
The graduating class of Kissimmee, 1985.
Love it. Love it. So I just finished making. Can I show something?
Yeah, show whatever you want, man.
Let me. Let's see. So this is the poster that's going out to all the comic shops, and this poster. This artwork it's beautiful. It's glorious. Elias Martins. Mike's worked with Elias before. They've actually got, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, Nazi biker zombie.
Yeah, Elias was going to illustrate Helmet Head, and he may still yet. But this was about 8 or 9 years ago, before crowdfunding really hit. And I was working with a small publisher, and the small publisher got us started, but he never got anywhere, and he disappeared for a while. But now that small publisher is back, and he's a much bigger publisher.
Well, Elias is great. Elias did this poster that we're using for the comic shops, and it, of course, got all the credits of everybody at the bottom. But we are sending this to all the comic shops that back the book. So there's several comic shops in Florida that are getting between 4 and 6 copies. We'll see how it does for them. But Elias is just a great artist. He's just a great artist. And he's fast. That's the thing that blew me away, was how fast Marcelo and Elias were compared to our original creative team. Man, these guys were lickety-split fast. And that's what's going to happen with Future, the next book. We haven't decided who or what. Maybe we'll do them both at the same time, Mike. We haven't even talked about that.
Let's not go crazy, but we expect to work with both Elias and Marcelo again.
Yeah, but that's not the project that we're thinking. We're going to come out with this next project, and I don't even want to give away the secret, because part of the hook of the project I alluded to earlier is who the artist is. And that's all I can say. Wouldn't you agree?
Also, it's going to be a highly controversial book.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a hot button. It's going to be
So who's the artist?
Can't say. That's the hook. That's the hook.
So
and the thing is you may still say who's the artist after we tell you.
Yeah,
it's not so much who they are; it's what they are.
Yeah, he's not well known, but he's a great artist.
It's not even that, though. But that's not the hook. Yes, he's a great artist. It's what he is. So that's the hook. And RJ, we will announce it on your show first if you're available.
I'm going to make myself available for that, because I can't imagine, given you guys and your stances, how in the world you're going to market a book based on the identity politics of the artist.
Wait till you see. That's all I can say.
Good one. Yeah. Oh, we're going to lean hard into it, but I really don't want to say anything else, because it's going to be, you guys will be doing this when we tell you. It's going to be fun. It's going to be action. And like I said, the art is awesome. I wish I could show it off, but we want to get it colored, at least some of it colored first before we launch. And so that would be my question is, what do people think about, should we start the next campaign before we've even fulfilled, or should we announce it once fulfillment begins? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Chris, I think that when you come out here, we're going to sit down with my 2 fellow co-creators and we'll hammer it out, because that's going to come up pretty fast.
Oh, yeah. Good. Yeah, I'm supposed to go out there. That's the fun. Mike and I have never met each other in the flesh, as Pink Floyd says. And so I'm going out there with the books, like I mentioned earlier, and we're going to sit down and have a good time, and I'm going to see a little bit. Mike, are both the motorcycles in working order?
Yeah, they are.
Is your Blizzard gone?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. And then we'll meet these guys, and then after that, RJ, we're gonna make an announcement. So before we do Florida Man 2, which we're gonna get into production, we're gonna push this next project, I think.
Okay.
And Mike's got other projects. Mike's not tied to me.
Yeah, I mean, Mike's doing Nexus with 3 different people.
Kelsey
3 different
Shannon is the artist on the series that your boy Zach is offering.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Weldon is the artist on Nexus Lone Star Bigfoot Bill.
The big crossover.
And I'm working up a new original graphic novel with Richard Bonk. And the art is astonishing. Would you like to see some? I could put it
Absolutely.
into your Chris, would it be, if I give it to you on your Facebook PM page, would it be easy for you to put up?
Sure.
All right, let's do that.
I don't know what's going on with your StreamYard, or Chris, or whatever it was you're using, but when I brought you up like this, when you had the poster up, it split you and then the poster. But when I minimized it back down, it split the poster and the receipt from your barber.
Oh, you know what that is?
What, barber?
Go full screen for a second. This is a little Easter egg in the graphic novel. On the right, that is that's something that Gary finds. Gary finds a toupee while he's doing some fumigation and is able to sell that toupee to make enough money to get his girlfriend out of jail because the pawn shop won't buy his Barry bonds. I just gave away part of the story with that. Yeah, that's all that was. That's all that was.
He had provenance for what he sold, so
it worked out for
him. Bald. Jam, everybody's not bald on our stream. It's not a requirement. Mike's got a beautiful head of hair under that hat.
Yes, he does.
So, look at that. Makes me. I actually shaved mine down because and I never should have done it because once I shaved it, it's like I used to just lay over to the side and swoop and everything, but once I shaved it, it grew back out and it just kept growing out straight, and it was like I persistently had static electricity in my head. So now I have to keep it shaved, but I don't know if I've ever shown you this picture, guys. And if I have, I apologize, and I apologize for inflicting it on you again. But I've been at this a while, this comic book collecting thing. And I was doing it in high school to the point where when I was a senior, they decided to come visit my house. Where did Chris go? We lost Chris.
I think you scared him.
I scared him off. I had more hair than I knew what to do with. Chris's mic and cam is not connected. He disconnected himself.
He'll be back.
But yeah, this is all the hair I used to have, and now you see I've sort of inverted the entire do. There he is.
Sorry about that. I don't know how to do what I was trying to do, but this is some of that Nexus artwork Mike can tell us about.
All right, let me get this ugly kid off the screen here.
That guy, I love the chops, man.
Yeah,
I told you I've got the inverse thing going on now. It's like I just filled in the blank spots and got rid of the rest of it.
That's because you were showing off how much hair you had back then. This is karma.
Yes.
That's what that is. Yeah. Mike, so who's doing this? Who's doing this Nexus work? Is this Kelsey?
Richard Bonk.
Isn't he great?
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Richard has got the chops. Sure. Where would we know Richard from? What else has he done that we've seen, Mike?
A lot of comics. I just know him as a Facebook friend, but hang on a second. I'll tell you what he's done. Action Comics, DC, a lot of DC Comics, Teen Titans.
Titans, I like how you said that, Mike.
Titans.
Yeah, he's great. He's
Superman,
great.
Emperor, Joker.
Oh,
how many pages is this going to be?
48.
Okay. Crowdfunding it?
Well, not necessarily. There is a possibility that Dark Horse will publish.
Isn't that awesome? Love it. Love that Kirby crackle, too, up there in the upper left. It's beautiful, Mike.
So Nexus might be into being the first guy who's doing crowdfunding and direct publishing. Almost like there's a multitude of Nexi out there running around.
Multiple universes. Yes, that's true.
We might have Nexus meets Nexus meets Nexus at some point.
My head hurts now.
If he runs out of ideas, maybe.
He'll never run out of ideas. He's a font of ideas.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned earlier about the Florida Man, the campaign being over with, and people, if they do want to still get a book before we ship, if you have not gotten on this train yet, and I'd say anybody that watches RJ's stream that's at all interested in a book like this can go straight to the shop at floridamancomics.com. This is going to be U.S. residents only. I just haven't set it up for the shipping for all the other countries. It's such a... We still need to have our shipping conversation, RJ, off.
Yes, we should have that.
Yeah, let's do that this week or next week.
And I'll tell you something else, Chris. You know what this is, right?
Sure, I do.
That's a Gemini Mailer.
Yeah.
Well, it happens to fit very neatly into this bag here.
Yes.
Well, this bag comes from Sticker Mule.
Look at you.
And we're working out these deals with people who are going to, ship with us.
Sure.
I need to unshare my screen here for just a second.
Go ahead, sir. Don't give away the secrets.
Well, the thing is too that all my shortcuts went away because whoever I bought this laptop from last year, they didn't give me an official copy of Microsoft Office.
Hello. I hate when they do that.
So yeah, and Microsoft eventually caught up, and I didn't know. So I had to go out and find a new copy of Microsoft
Sure,
Office.
RJ, sure. You can find those. Listen, I found like Windows certified everything for $10, $20 on eBay. People, and it's all legit. You call in, give the number. I bought 2 of those that didn't work, and I had to get refunded. eBay's refunded one. I'm still waiting for PayPal to refund the other one. But I did finally get an official copy that Microsoft approved and certified. So I'm back up. You're virtue signaling. That's a great virtue signal right there, sir.
Oh,
look at that. Oh, wow.
So these are the 3 people who have contracted that have said that they want us to do their distribution so far. So when this bag arrives on your porch, it won't have the Critical Blast logo on it. It's going to have either the red eyes or the embrace or the company men on it, and at no charge. First 5 customers who do this, we're going to add this on at no charge, which is basically going to eat up our entire profit margin. But just
profit margins are tasty.
Yes, they are. But it's just to add that extra level of excitement, because when you see this arrive on your doorstep and it's up, the first thing you're going to want to do is fire up your camera and take a picture and put it on Twitter. It says, "Look what just arrived."
Shoot, yeah.
I don't even have to, I don't even have to open it to know which book came. It's going to add that extra level of excitement. Do you
think one of these will fit in those bags?
What do you got there?
What Mike's wearing for us?
Oh, the hat?
Oh, sure.
The hat would fit in the bag, but not much else.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, and that's the thing. We can only do the like the Gemini Mailer. They have a bigger bag, but I'm only going to order the ones that the Gemini Mailers fit in. And if they ordered, other stretch goals and 3D prints, well, then it's going to go regular box rates and shipping rates. But I just thought it'd be kind of cool to. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, you saw the first 5, got it for free. If you want that, here's how much it is to add it onto your shipping after that. Because it's going to be something where everybody else is going to want to start doing it after that.
RJ, you're the man.
I just like to have fun. And I'm not afraid to spend some money to do it if I can afford it. I like how you put the button here in the middle of this picture because that keeps me from right-click. and having a new and having a new desktop background.
Yeah, that was probably intentional. If you click get some though, you go straight in the store. Click it.
Let's go get some.
Yeah, go get some. So you've got the book up there. You've got beach towels, trucker hats, T-shirts, flip-flops. You can get Mike's prose novels there. There's the Hogzilla one. You can get you a wife beater.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Everybody needs a good Florida man wife beater.
You got a koozie?
Oh, sure. Got to keep your cold Pabst Blue Ribbon somewhere.
Absolutely. You got
beach towels, postcards, most of the stuff that you can get or that you were able to get on the Indiegogo. The only thing, because we've got stickers, we've got beach towels, but this is the trick. The only thing that you will never see on this shop, unless I can work out some kind of a deal, are the lunch boxes.
Okay.
If you missed the Indiegogo lunchbox, you may have missed it. And what's neat about Robert at API, I may be telling secrets about Robert, the CEO. He is a metal lunchbox collectible fanatic. So he had at least 75 or 100 lunchboxes in his office. I've got one over here. That was just one of dozens that he's got. So I told him, I said, you give us a good deal on this, I'm going to send you a lunchbox. And his eyes lit up. So, and the lunchbox look great. I just put out the order for those.
I noticed too that you're taking advantage of all the artwork that you have available to you, so to speak. Because
yeah, that's right.
You got your Florida Man beach towel here, which is Crystal getting her knickers pulled down by the alligator.
That's right.
And then you got the same shot here, but it's not the same shot here.
That's right.
There were two different drawings of that. So
I think if you click on that one right there, that beach towel, I think we're sold out of that. So you'll have to work it out with out of stock. So you'll have to get the other Marcelo's towel is the available one. So hopefully you got a hold of that towel while you still had a shot. I need to talk to our royalty owner on that to see if we can offer that again. Okay. And then may not be offered ever again. You may have a limited collector's item with these towels. You know what we did, RJ? Probably one of the most popular tiers we had. The book was obviously more popular, but our second most popular tier was the Beach Party Bundle, which was the T-shirt, the towel, stickers, postcards, the lunch box. I mean, it was the whole kit and caboodle. And I was very pleased. People like these things to kind of be an event, over on Kickstarter. Things got so complex with all this swag. And of course, it being my first campaign, I was a little bit nervous. So when we went to Kickstarter, I tried to keep it really minimized. But one thing that we offered on Kickstarter that we didn't offer on Indiegogo was original art. And the art looks beautiful. I've got it already. Elias whipped out some great headshots of the characters and even did me one. I paid for one that's got a couple of characters on one. I don't know if I've shown you that, Mike. Have I? No? I will. He's great. They turn those in. I mean, large paper. Did it, ink, pencil, and even a little white out here and there just to make it perfect. And I'm thinking, man, anybody that ordered original art's going to love this. They're going to eat it up.
View of Uranus is hoping that we're still in business when he fulfills. I hope so too.
We will be, View.
Depends on when you're going to fulfill.
It's Uranus.
Uranus, yeah, that's right.
Oh, did I talk to you guys after I moved down here yet?
You talked
surely
to
I
me.
did.
Yeah, you talked to me.
Yeah, because I told you I drove through Uranus, Missouri.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't remember that conversation.
Yeah, on my way down here, making the move, I stopped on Route 66 in Uranus, Missouri, at the fudge factory where they pack your fudge, and they will also wrap your nuts. And you walk in and they're just like, "Welcome to Uranus," and I'm like, "I forgot my mask, so I need to go get it." And I'm like, "No, you can breathe freely in Uranus." And when you leave, they're like, be careful when pulling out of Uranus. There's a blind spot.
So now we're going with puns. sort of the lowest brow of humor.
Yeah.
They
I love
lean
puns.
into it.
It's all puns. All puns are intended in my mind.
I bottomed out. I mean, I almost topped myself.
Oh,
I bottomed out with puns earlier this week when I said that I wanted to have a Star Wars fancy dress party with nothing but bubble tea and episodes of the original series. And would everybody come to my Boba Fett?
There's nowhere to
Bubble
go
tea.
but up, RJ.
I know. It's a bubble tea Star Wars party. It's a Boba Fett.
Mhm.
You should talk with somebody about that, RJ.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Mike, tell me what's the next thing that people are going to see from you that I haven't talked about. I want to promote Mike a little bit.
Yes.
Well, the Florida Man graphic novel.
Obviously,
It'll be Catfish Calling, which comes out, I think, April 21st from Wolfpack. And all my novels are available on Amazon. And I'm excited about this one because it could not be more timely as Gary and Crystal dragged the royal couple through the swamp.
now listen, that webpage, FloridaManComics.com, everything newsworthy related to this book, announcements, this video, will embed it on a post tomorrow or something, RJ. But as soon as the books are available or on sale or anything like that, Mike's putting a new Amazon book out. Even if it's not Florida Man related, it'll be on that website.
Yeah, I'm going to send you a link to that right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good.
cool. The one-stop shop for all things Florida Man.
Mhm. All things Mike Barron, really. Mike's got a website, bloodyredbaron.com.
Yeah, but I don't do as good a job of it as Amazon, unfortunately. And most of my sales are through Amazon.
Sure.
And I have to speak up for Wolfpack. They're extremely supportive. They push my books. It's great.
Yeah, Wolfpack Publishing is his prose novel publisher.
So Mike, is there any chance in the future, and not as like a big thing, but I've done things where I've read books where I know that two authors are friends of each other, and the characters of one book will be driving down the street and looking out the window, and they'll just basically be describing something they've seen. And if you catch it, you realize that, they're talking about their friends' characters from these other books here. And it's a nothing to the plot. It's just like a pass by. Is there ever any chance that your biker is going to take a trip through Florida and drive past something unbelievable, shake his head, and keep going?
No, there's a much greater chance that Josh Pratt is going to hook up with Levon Cade.
Okay. Now tell everybody who they are.
Mike,
Levon
explain.
Cade is Chuck Dixon's pulp character, also published by Wolfpack. It's modern noir. It is as lean and mean as they come. His books are just brutal, and the use of language is so effective that I get sick to my stomach when I'm reading one of Chuck's novels because he's so good.
Talking about Chuck Dixon, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually love reading people who write better than I do because it opens up the world to every book out there.
Now, have you and Chuck ever gotten together like Stephen King and what's the guy, Peter Straub did for their book, Talisman?
We've talked about this. I mean, I floated the idea past Chuck, and he liked it. It's just a point of when we both have time and when we can get together, and if I can come up with a plot or an outline that's amenable to both characters, and I don't think that's going to be too great a challenge. And then we're going to do it. But Chuck and I have met a couple of years ago. I was a guest in Orlando for what was it? I think it was the Tampa Bay Comic Con. It was right down on the bay, and Chuck and I hung out and discussed a lot of projects. And Chuck's one of those guys whose books I automatically buy because he knows how to grab the reader by the throat. And that's my whole thing when I write prose, with the exception of Florida Man, although I think Florida Man does that too. But Florida Man does it with laughter, and most of my novels are pretty grim.
Yeah, Florida Man. For the people who are waiting for the book to come out, it's absurd. really, and a lot of things sort of set themselves up as you're reading the book, and then kind of circle back around for that payoff. But
Yeah, it's like a Rube Goldberg machine.
yeah. And Gary's just, I mean, he's a nice guy, he's a sweet guy, but he's, he gets in trouble. He has very few scruples, obviously.
He's got a hair trigger temper. He makes bad decisions. He likes to get high. He likes to get drunk. He's always looking for the next get-rich-quick scheme, but he'd give you the shirt off his back.
I want to show you something, RJ, about that, because if you look on the poster way down there in the corner, I'm going to see if I can move that up just a little bit, but you see that mansion down there in the corner? Yes, I do. So that mansion has two giant chains coming out of the side of it, right? Well, that is Gary's, one of his get-rich schemes. They're called house suspenders, and they'll keep your house from blowing away in a tornado. Of course. And that's his luxury SUV, a Lamborghini, on fire. I'm not going to tell you how that happens. And this is Pat Broderick's cover for Florida Man 2, Hogzilla. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Pat has got, I mean, I'll get in on this if you want to see it. But I mean,
so is that going to be the theme from now on, Mike? And I mean, three sets of patterns. So every book is going to be Gary writing on something?
Probably. Gary has an awful lot of trouble with invasive species. And, you asked me about what I'm working on. I forgot to mention that Pat Broderick and I are working on a Western. It's
Don't tell him the twist. Don't tell him the twist, Mike.
I won't. It's going to blow your mind. It's the best work Pat has ever done. He thinks so. I think so. Everybody who has seen the art thinks so. It's just unbelievable.
You guys have come on here and done nothing but tell me about stuff you can't tell me about. You know that, right?
Hey, it's a Western. Here, I'll make up for it. Let me show you something. Where's that?
Pat's great. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And by the way, I squared things away with Pat today, Mike.
Oh, he finally sent to the signed agreement.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
Look at this. That's some from the Western. Hold it steady, Mike. I mean, he's just gorgeous. Such a detailed artist.
Yeah.
Well, let me show you another page.
I mean, the stuff he did on Fury of Firestorm was some of the best stuff I'd ever seen in the comics at that time. So, and that was just his covers. Oh my Lord.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely awesome.
So it's a Western. It's with a twist. And Pat, the way that Pat works is he hand draws it all and then scans the pages. Right, Mike?
Well, no, I think he inks directly on the page. I can't be sure.
I would be very nervous doing that.
Old school, man.
Because you mess up the pencils. I'd rather ink over a scan of the pencils than ink over the original pencils.
Oh, absolutely. And that one's called Bronze. That one's called Bronze Star. That'll be another upcoming campaign that they're doing.
Very cool.
Mike, I'm hoping that I'll talk with you when I get out there, but that's another one I would like to help you out with.
But right. Mike, you thought you might be coming through Arkansas here sometime too. Was there a convention heading out this way, or?
Well, no, but I just signed a contract to do a new series for Allegiant.
Oh, okay.
And it's possible I may get together with the Brightwisers at some point.
That's very good. I hope. Mm-hmm. I keep wondering how that's going to work out for them because Walmart is the giver and the taker away of things. I've seen people get killed with success through Walmart, largely because they weren't able to meet the demands of something. Where it's like, we really like your peanut sheller that you're making by hand here. We'd love to carry it at Walmart. Sign the contract and we'll carry it. Yes. Okay. Now give us 6 million of them by next month.
Right. Yeah. I don't think that's going to be a problem with Allegiant. They can always print more.
Exactly.
I think the most recent little questionable thing that happened with them that was getting shared on social media was some of the books were getting discounted because they hadn't sold. And so, of course, every time I see that, I share it with Mike. But then every Walmart's different. So one Walmart has some comics they don't sell, and then the other one's sold out. I've got a guy that has been looking for the first issue of a couple of the books, Nora and what's the Western one, Mike?
Bass Reeves.
Bass
Yeah,
Reeves.
he can't find issue 1 of that anywhere, and he's gone to all his Walmarts to look for it. So
They're here in Northwest Arkansas, and they are not discounted. So
yeah,
You
that's
should
so what I'm.
contact the Legion directly.
Yeah, just because you see, I'll tell him that, Mike. Just because you see it at one store, it doesn't mean it's the same everywhere. So,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
most of the controversy around Allegiance is the way the Brightwisers timed everything with the Red Rooster. I think that was the part that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I never
Yeah.
backed the book, so it didn't bother me what they do. I mean, they're just trying to do the best they can with what hand they're being dealt. So
And I don't think he had a choice with the Walmart deal either. But what will silence that is getting the Red Rooster book out to backers with whatever extras come with it.
Well, it's done. I know that. I know that it's at the printer.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
so it's all
perfect
going to
then.
come through. Yeah, maybe he'll stuff a bunch of other books in his shipments and make everybody happy. That would maybe be a good idea.
That would be a good idea. Speaking a little bit about comic book news for a brief moment here before we close out, because you do have a comic book news site, and
Sure.
you're well more on top of it than we are. We're kind of slapdash haphazard at Critical Blast.
You're full of it. You're full of it.
I know that's why we don't. But what's your opinion of the industry this week with the announcement that Marvel is out of Diamond?
Well, I'll say this. I like Steve Jeppy, but I really think that this is going to have a massive impact, and it's also going to expose a lot of the weak areas of how he was running his business. From what I can tell, Penguin doesn't charge shipping to stores, and of course, Jeppy was charging shipping, and which almost seems like a double dip. I'm not looking at the book, so I really can't say, but I like the guy. I think he was a visionary, and I think he obviously saw a need and filled it and did it very well for a while. But I honestly think that their response to the pandemic was a misstep, which is what set up DC. And here lately, Marvel's been following DC on all their good and bad decisions. Woke, and they followed, and I think this is going to be it's going to set a really it might be a very bad harbinger for preview Diamond comic distributors' future. However, maybe the independents will get a little more attention. I mean, I'm not sure. They'll definitely have to do a little work to make it work, but I was kind of sick of DC and Marvel having their own supplemental magazines anyhow. So that magazine was that thick every month, and it didn't contain Marvel or DC in it. So, I mean, there's plenty more product. It's just, and I don't know that Penguin Random House is interested in any of the smaller publishers. So, what do you think?
I think that it's definitely going to hurt Diamond if they're having to just deal with the independent. Now, they might, get enough Shonen Jump or whatever to, be able to survive. But, definitely not at the same level without Marvel. I take great humor in the fact, knowing that Marvel made this huge deal about we still come out on Wednesdays. Wednesday's comic book day, and I know that new book day for Penguin is always Tuesday, so the street date is going to change. Marvel had put out another spate of covers that says, "We mean Tuesday now."
Well, frankly, RJ, and Bleeding Fool, we do cover whatever Marvel's doing, whatever DC, Warner Brothers, Disney. But I can't stand those companies anymore. Avi just put out an article today about how woke the head of Warner Media is, and it's not just the Zack Snyder thing. I mean, she hired one of the founders of Black Lives Matter, who calls themselves a trained Marxist. So they just did a deal with her. They're going as woke as they can go. And they're leaning into it, and they're not afraid to call out what they consider the toxic fandom. I mean, we all know this. So another guy that we publish a lot over at Bleeding Fool, Brian Nehemiah, he's an accomplished sci-fi writer. He's been saying it for years. Stop giving money to people who hate you.
Right.
And Marvel Comics even when they have something that they can do that kind of draws back that demographic of 40 to 70-year-old Marvel fans, they add some woke element like you're watching the CW. I'm waiting on the other shoe to drop on Warner Brothers Lois and Superman show. It's going to have to go woke sooner or later. I think Captain America or Falcon and Winter Soldier just went woke. Obviously got an article about that coming out tomorrow. So, I mean, is that my guitar playing somewhere?
No, it's Ann.
Oh, okay. But we push indies. So our Wednesday New Comic Book Day, you probably know this. We do an indie comic showcase,
Yep.
and we feature 3 indie comics that are crowdfunding or available on Amazon, print on demand, whatever. So if you've got any viewers right now that would like to get their book featured, and it's not the same treatment that RJ gives you. He'll do a whole hour with you, but we'll include you in our Indie Comic Showcase. Comes out on Wednesday, and we tell everybody to ditch the mainstream and start backing the indie stuff.
There you go. Contact at Bleeding Fool on Twitter.
Bleeding Fool at Bleeding Fool on Twitter. Yeah, let us know. Or send an email, contact@bleedingfool.com. One of us will get to you, and we'll do a quick interview and get you up there on Wednesday.
All right. Guys, it's been a pleasure, as always, having you guys on here. Always a fun time when I get to talk with you guys because it's just all over the place. Mike,
Ann.
you better let me know when you come through Northwest Arkansas.
I will, RJ.
We'll meet up somewhere. And
Chris says hi.
Okay, RJ. You're a stand-up guy, RJ. You're a lot of fun to be with. Thanks again.
Thanks, RJ.
For featuring us, buddy.
Appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, thank you for being here. Hope that you will pop over here in just 4 more minutes when we talk with a new horror comic book from Michael T. Gonzalez called 6-8.
And while you're waiting, FloridaManComics.com, get your own trucker hat.
That's right. Click on that link that we threw into the chat and get yourself a hat so in case you're follically challenged like me here. Keep the sun off of that. And we will see y'all again in 5 minutes.